that to get ahead, you should want that you should want that job, that you should want to be promoted. It takes a strong person to be able to stand up and go, you know what, that's just not me. Now, when Warren Buffett said that, he wasn't trying to hand off all the rotten jobs off to somebody else. He wasn't saying that charity is stupid work. He wasn't disrespecting the goals of charity. He was saying something much wiser, much smarter, wasn't he? He was saying, look, I so respect the goals of charity, they can't be entrusted to a guy like me. Well, if you're going to be a great team player, you've got to have that kind of courage. You've got to have that kind of honesty. You've got to be able to take a stand for your strengths and then fess up to your weaknesses. And then surround yourself with people who are strengthened by the very things that weaken you. Then, and only then, are you going to achieve the kind of success that you always knew you could achieve. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be easy. It's not going to be easy to stay on your strengths path. Not least because other people, well-meaning people like your manager or your parents or whoever, are going to try and drag you off it. You'll go back, you'll use your strengths, you'll be successful, and then people will offer you a bigger job, a better job, with more money, a nicer desk, a better view. And some of those jobs you should take, but some of them you shouldn't, because they don't allow you to play to your strengths. And if you're not really careful, you're going to wind up over-promoted in a job that you shouldn't have. Well, the only person who has to stay clear-headed enough to figure out which doors to march through and which doors to slam shut is you. And I'm not saying this journey is without risk either. The whole strengths journey that you should be on for your life, there's risk to that. There's risk that one day you're going to go back and go all out with all of your strengths and not win. Like my son Jack will take all of his competitiveness, just really go all out with it and not outperform a competitor. That's a bitter pill to swallow, that is. Or maybe there's a risk that you'll go back and you'll say to your manager, I'm weakened by confrontation. And she'll go, like I care. You're trying to just hand off all the rotten stuff off to some other person. So yeah, there's risk that you'll be misunderstood. But a writer, Anais Nin, had a great line on risk. She said this, she said, and the day came when the risk it took to remain all tight in the bud became greater than the risk it took to blossom. There's risks to blossoming. There's risks to betting your life, your career, your success, your satisfaction on your strengths. But you know that from this day forward, the risks of not doing so are far greater. Because here's what I know. One, I know you have strengths. Whatever you think about in terms of your strengths and weaknesses, there are certain activities that make you feel strong. You have strengths. Two, I know that no one's got quite the same configuration, quite the same pattern of strengths and weaknesses as you do. The least interesting thing about you is your race, your sex, your age, your nationality. All the really interesting, unique things about you are beneath the surface, and no one's got quite the same strengths and weaknesses as you. Third, I believe that you'll be your most creative, most effective, most productive, most resilient when you figure out how to play to your strengths most of the time. And last, I believe that everyone will win when you do. You'll win, your company will win, your friends will win, your family will win, the world will win, everyone will win when you do. That's what I believe. But it doesn't matter what I believe. In the end, it matters only what you believe. So let tomorrow be a different day than today was. Let tomorrow be a stronger day than today was. By which I simply mean let tomorrow begin with you looking in the mirror and saying to yourself, what are my strengths and how can I contribute them today? And then let every day after that start the same way. Because you've always known what your strengths are. You've always known what was inside of you. So trust them, be proud of them, and go out and make your mark.
I'm waiting.
how do you talk to your manager about your weaknesses? I mean, in most working places that I've been into, you're not supposed to have any weaknesses. By the time you get to any level of responsibility at all, you're supposed to be well nigh perfect. I mean, imagine walking into your manager's office and going, I don't have a strategic bone in my body. No, just strategy, surgically removed at birth for me. I can ask lots of what-if questions, I just don't have any answers. Or how about walking in and going, no, I'm just not a visionary. Can't see anything beyond around what's the next corner. Sorry, functionally blind beyond that area. I mean, who says that? Who says that? It sounds like you're like a First World War soldier going up to your captain and saying, I'm not really a go up over the trench kind of a soldier. I'm more of a stay at home, clean up the trench. You guys go up over the trench, I'll come back, it'll be spotless. I mean, come on. Who says that these days? And yet you've got to have the conversations. You've got to be able to talk to your manager about what weakens you. If for no other reason, then he or she's got to figure out how to cast you in the right roles. If you're going to manage around your weaknesses, you've got to talk to someone about it. You've got to talk to your manager about it. How do you do that? Well, here are two suggestions. First, don't say, this is a weakness of mine. Say, this is where my productivity is going to be lowest. In this area here, with this activity here, you're going to see less persistence from me, less creativity from me, less resilience from me. I'm not saying that to whinge, I'm just saying that to tell you. Second, have a couple of things that you think that you can do about it. If you're weakened by long meetings, say, and I figured out, here's a really nifty way to shorten this meeting up, what do you think? If you're weakened by doing the PowerPoint presentations and you're drained by it, have a solution or a suggestion as to who might come in and do that with you, or something, some action that can be taken, so that you don't come across as someone walking in and whining all over your manager as though he or she should jump to it and try and make your world perfect. Your manager's job isn't to make your world perfect. Your manager's job is to drive performance with you. But to do that, they will need to have you take the responsibility for coming in and saying, hey, in these activities over here, these are where I am least productive, least effective, least creative. So long as you can phrase it that way, and so long as you can come up with a couple of things you think you can do right now to mitigate it, that's going to be a much more productive conversation. Try it. There was a great Broadway musical a couple of years ago called I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change, which is pretty funny on the Broadway stage, but it's often something that we feel about our colleagues or our employees or our spouse or our family members for that matter. I love you, you're perfect, now change. And it raises the question, how much of a person can you change after you've hired them? How much of a person can you change when you're working with them? Which parts of you are changeable over the course of your life, and which parts aren't? That's knowable. There's an answer to that question. The answer is that we can change your skills and your knowledge, but we can't change your talents. We can't change your enduring patterns of thought, feeling, or behavior. As an example, I can teach you the skill. A skill is a how-to. I can teach you the skill of how to present your product to a potential customer. Let's say you're a salesperson. I can teach you how to do that. I can teach you how to stock a shelf. I can teach you how to give an injection. I can teach you how to lay out a letter. I can teach you how to lay out a presentation. I can teach you all those how-to skills. The other thing we can change about you is your knowledge. I can change what you know about the competitive landscape out there. I can teach you what you know about the product that you're presenting or that you represent. I can teach you what you know from experience. So over time, your experience can change. I can teach you what you know about yourself. I can change your self-awareness. And I can change your values, which are part of knowledge. It's part of what you think to be important, what you know to be valuable in life. Clearly, over the course of your life, your values change. Your values at 15, what you think is totally important at 15 is not the same as what you think is totally important as 85. So I can change your values. Skills and knowledge, those can change. Your talents, your enduring patterns of thought, feeling, and behavior, those are enduring by very definition. So if you're competitive, if you're one of those people that instinctively compares what you're doing against somebody else, that loves pitting yourself against a peer on a level playing field and winning, you just get jazzed by that, I can't bleed that out of you. I can't berate that out of you. I can't make you ever believe that losing means nothing. I can't make you ever believe that it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. You'll never believe that if you're a competitor. If you're empathetic, if you're deeply empathetic and you feel the emotions of those around you, I can't change that in you. Flip that around. If you're not very empathetic at all, if you're one of those people who could be someone's best friend and never know it, then I can help you get a little better. I can teach you that empathy exists. I can teach you that other people have emotions that aren't yours. And I can teach you 2 or 3 skills that you might need to learn to be a better listener. I can teach you all that. But the only thing I'm going to do there is help you go from having no empathy to having some sort of karaoke version of empathy. I can help you get a little better. But in terms of those deep, recurring patterns of who you are, how empathetic you are, how focused you are, how competitive you are, how strong your need for achievement is, how driving your craving for significance is, how altruistic you are, I can't change those about you. Those are recognizable to you and your friends in the schoolyard, and they'll be recognizable by your grandkids when you're 85 years old. Those are the enduring parts of who you are. You need to trust them, own them, honor them, and then figure out a way to combine them with skills and knowledge, and so make a real impact in the world. People often ask, where do passions fit into strengths? How does passion fit into focusing on your strengths in life? Well, passions are the building blocks. Passions are the building blocks of your strengths. But passions by themselves are relatively meaningless. If you're going to take your passions and actually put them to use, you've got to combine them with something specific. In fact, I would say that a strength is a precise passion. Strengths are passions plus precision. Think about it. Some people have a passion for helping others. They're just naturally altruistic. But a passion like that, ooh, I just want to help the world, is as vaporless as skywriting. It looks good up there, but it just blows away in the wind. If you're going to take your passion for helping people and actually put it to work, there's got to be some specificity that you bring to the table. You could take your passion for helping others and turn it into the discipline and the specific activities of being an ER nurse and working in the frenzied triage environment of a trauma unit. Or you could take your passion for helping others and turn it into the much different set of activities involved in being